Yeah, thank you guys. So we are here with Senator Ruben Gallego. Thank you so much for meeting with us. We're going to get right to it. Now, we are entering week 3 of this government shutdown with neither side seeming to want to budge. Now, we know yesterday you all met. Are we seeing any wiggle room to get this government shutdown to end?
Look, at this point, we haven't heard anything from Republicans. We're still concerned, obviously, about the 24 million Americans, the hundreds of thousands of Arizonans that are going to see their insurance premium double starting November 1st. And our communications continuously to our Republican colleagues is that help us, we can work together, we can reopen government, and we can also make sure that 24 million Americans, hundreds of thousands of Arizonans do not see their insurance rates double in the next couple weeks.
And it's not just insurance rates. We are seeing prices skyrocket. We know millions of Americans are now saying that they are losing or have completely lost faith in the American economy. Now, I just want to know, when we're talking about compromises, what kind of compromises are we seeing? Are Democrats willing to compromise anything? Are Republicans willing to compromise anything?
Yeah, actually, like I've talked to my Republican colleagues about this. I understand that we're not going to get 100%. But the most important thing that we need to do is make sure that premiums stay affordable. Things are very expensive right now. I'm sure you guys are seeing energy prices going up also down in Tucson area. Food has continued to be going up. Buying a house, buying a car, paying for rent just continues to be very expensive. We don't need to add something on more by choice when it comes to insurance rates. So I've talked about potentially putting caps for people that are, that make enough money that don't really need, these types of insurance subsidies. We talked about maybe extending it only for a couple years to make sure that people have time to find new insurance, and we have time further to negotiate. The most important thing we need to do, again, is to make sure that these insurance premiums stay low. People cannot afford everything that's happening right now. There are some families that are going to have an extra $4,000 insurance premiums if the Republicans don't act starting on November 1st.
And these are things that you have brought to the Republicans on the floor, and they are saying no still. They want this short-term spending bill, correct?
Yeah, so and there's been some talk, and I've talked to some Republicans that says that I could see something happening, but they do not want to do anything prior to November 1st. And that's the problem here, is that, most Arizonans are going to get locked into their insurance between November 1st and November 30th during open enrollment. And if we don't act, if the Senate does not act, people are going to get locked into these very, very high premiums. Some of them are just going to walk away and not have insurance. And you're going to see, a lot of people, being affected by it. Those that are buying insurance on the ACA market and those that aren't, because once you have less and less people that are insured, everyone else gets more expensive. So we're just trying to stop these costs. There's a way forward for that. The Republicans need to understand they're about to give a big bill to the American public that is really unnecessary.
Yeah, so many people cannot afford this right now. And speaking of, we know that today service members are expected to be paid out of separate funds, some research funds that have been given to them to be paid. We do not know how long this will even last, how many funds that they can really allocate to them. As a veteran yourself, how concerning is this, not just for those service members maybe getting one check until this is over, but people that are not service members that are still not getting paid?
I mean, it sucks, and I had to live paycheck to paycheck when I was in the Marines myself, and growing up poor, I certainly understand the anxiety that everyone has. And we're going to do everything we can, obviously, to back pay government workers. I would love to have some exemption for our Department of Defense employees. The problem is right now, every time we try to introduce anything of that nature, the Republicans are out of session. So Speaker Johnson's out of session. There's been movement among Democrats in the House to actually exempt the DOD from not getting paid, military personnel. And of course, he's keeping everyone out of session so Adelita Grijalva won't get sworn in.
That's exactly right. And that brings me to my next question. It's been 3 weeks now that we have had CD7 winner Adelita Grijalva officially win. We know that's official as of yesterday. And Speaker Johnson, we've heard all the sound bites of him saying that as soon as she wants to, after this shutdown, she can be sworn in. Tell us what's going on the actual floor. What are you really hearing from Speaker Johnson and Republicans about why this will not happen?
Yeah, let's be clear. His excuse has changed multiple times. At first it was, I need to wait till the vote is certified. Then it was, well, I want to make sure she gets the pomp and circumstance. Then it was, we don't really do this out of session. You can't do it in a pro forma session. That's also not true. And he's actually had people done that. He just did it a couple weeks ago. This is all happening because Adelic Grajal will be the number 218th signature on the Epstein file. And what that means is that she'll sign a discharge petition that'll force the House of Representatives to vote on whether or not we can go forward and release all the evidence we have of those, men that were, and some women that were involved in, violating and raping these young women. And that is a lot of very powerful people. There's something embarrassing about President Trump in there. There's a reason why they're blocking it. There's no other reason why. And the fact is, it's insulting to the people of Southern Arizona that they are not getting the representation they need because this president, Speaker Johnson, are trying to cover up for some very elite pedophiles.
And do you believe once she is sworn in, that is something that she will immediately do, is sign off on these Epstein files to be released?
I didn't know one way or the other. I think the Speaker Johnson has just assumed that. But, at this point, with everything he's done to block her, I don't see why she wouldn't.
All right. Well, right now we have a lot of more pressing things with the government still frozen, shut down, a lot of people not getting paid. Hopefully we can get you guys back in those chambers to make votes, compromises for that to happen for Arizonans and Americans. Thank you so much for meeting with us, Senator Gallego.
Have a great time.